And above all, think about traceability. Who has put the data in place? Who is approving it? Who is actually benefiting from it? When was the data taken? There was absolutely no element of traceability in there, or little to none. And that's where that's exactly what the pain point for us was. Okay, how do we ensure that all these elements can be somehow catered to in a single solution? And that's where we decided that we are going to embark on this entire digital drive, and we are going to take a start with the very basic, that's the operator log sheet. And ladies and gentlemen, let me mention one thing to you very clearly. When this concept came up, being very transparent, it was laughed upon. Okay, our operator log sheet, is that how you would want to start digitizing? 2 years down the line, about a year and a half down the line, I can tell you, hand on heart, it was perhaps one of the better decisions the organization took, because a lot of benefit now stems from this solution. A, you've got now real-time data, which is being captured by the operator in the area itself. B, that data is now stored. It does not make its way to the dungeons, to the cupboards. It's now stored on cloud. C, there's an obvious transparent workflow which approves everything. And above all, there is this ability which never existed before in the form of dashboards, in the form of analytics, right? So, so when we started this journey, obviously you would always have the non-believers, the naysayers, and it's so very important. Okay, whenever any organization, when you want to embark on this journey, remember one thing: take steps wisely, because you're trying to introduce a cultural change. Anything which goes in the opposite direction will always pull you back many steps. So it was a very simple 6-7 step approach for us, where we ensured that stepwise we introduced this first for the operators, and now we are looking more towards making this tool available for maintenance and supply chain teams as well. So these are typical 7 steps, but really, really important ones to ensure that people actually see the advantage of this solution in the daily work. Like any other project, right? This came with its own set of challenges. The very first one was that Engro Polymer operates, it's a petrochemical facility. So there is this concern around hydrocarbons in the area. To overcome that, we were offered a solution where the tablets are intrinsically safe and MDM controlled. B, I would want to talk about the platform stability first, because, like I said earlier, whenever you want to bring about a change, it's just like, when you've just gotten onto a new internet system, you would want that system to be up and running and to give you most optimal performance from the word go. Otherwise, it loses its charm. So it's extremely important. It was very important for us to make sure that the platform remains stable. And last but not least, the third challenge, which is change management, the culture I spoke about earlier. Okay, isse hame kya advantage hoga? How are we going to benefit from this? All these questions came up, but I can, like I said, almost 18-20 months down the line, I can say with a lot of certainty that people who were questioning the solution earlier have now started seeing the benefit. And what does this tablet-based solution come with? A, we spoke about the real-time data. We've spoken about that earlier. B, it's also about built-in workflows. The operator puts the data down. The shift in charge approves the data. It approves the logbook, and then it makes its way to the head of operations, and it's available to everyone then. And then the benefit of dashboarding, it is something which is helping us enormously. And I'll share an example over here. We recently had a problem where one of our seals on a machine, it gave way. I wanted information about how the seal water flow was performing, etc., etc. It's an area where there are no sensors. It's a local reading. So if you were to sort of backtrack 18-20 months ago, someone would have come to my office with maybe 20-30 pieces of paper, and a trend would have been put together. Against that, I just went to my desktop. I had access to the log sheets, and it became very obvious to me within minutes that the seal water flow was not there thanks to this solution and the ability to dashboard everything, right? And like we spoke about earlier, the strategic alignment. When we talk about AI, when we talk about making sure that we do those great things when it comes to digitization, it's so important to make sure that your very basic elements like data logging, it just gives you that advantage. It makes a lot of data available to you so that your platform could be built on real-time information. And the benefits now we foresee, again, spoken about earlier as well, the efficiency, a significant amount of reduction, not just in the form of paper, but in the amount of time which goes in taking information, transferring into Excel, etc. B, precision. Right now, if someone enters or leaves a field which has a mandatory requirement, it gives, there's a red tag. The person is informed that this information is required, and if someone puts in a value which is different from the last 5 preceding values, you get an information that, are you sure you're putting in the right value? So precision is another benefit which has come in with this solution. Productivity, and I would also mention engagement over here. The field team now feels a lot more engaged because, gone are the days where they would invest time in taking information, putting it down on paper, transferring to Excel, creating trends, etc. And now they come up with instant analyses, so becoming a lot more productive than they were in yesteryears. And governance, we spoke about earlier. This entire solution helps us, make sure that traceability is always there. We're always ready with audit, how to make sure that every piece of information is available as and when required without any wastage of time. And my last slide, again, what this does is it gives you so much data, so much information to build your own platforms for the future. And how it's helping us is you don't need real-time sensors for everything. Having sensors which give you information on the board, on the DCS, are very expensive solutions. So when you don't have the fiscal ability to come up with those solutions, having these digital logs in the area so that your remote isolated values could be put together and could then be translated and could be benefited, in the same way that you benefit from sensors giving you live information. And this is exactly what my field teams and my senior management is leveraging these days. So thank you very much, everyone. If there are any questions, please feel free to post, and we would be answering those towards the end. Thank you.
Fantastic, Saad. This is absolutely brilliant in terms of how, from an end user's perspective, you're able to kind of reflect back on the translation of all the advantages and benefits that theoretically are explained and presented at so many levels and platforms around. But I'm so glad to see that how you've been able to overcome the human errors, the high chance of human errors, to eventually promote the error-free processing and logging of the data. So a lot more. Thank you very much, Saad, for your details. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saad. I would just like to add something here. I mean, it was kind of very revealing for us to know how you're making use of this tool. Just to add that we are continuously improving this product, and we have recently introduced, for your convenience, to look up for the information on the fly, which is a GenAI tool. Is a log chat where you can ask any question that pops up in your head to dig out the information by just putting a prompt. So that's another feature that will be made available. I'm not sure you're currently using it, but it will be very soon available to all of our customers and future prospects. Right.
Thank you, TK, for reflecting back on the log chat as well. So that's something which is very, very exciting, and I believe our existing customers and our prospective customers will definitely find that to be extremely useful. The generative AI implementation on top of the digital log platform, again, as Saad mentioned, forms the basis of our foundation to build the AI solutions, and as a part of our add-on service, that's something our customers will be getting exposed to very soon. All right. So with that, I would like to bring on board Mr. Ahmed Rahmani. We'll be hearing about how Colgate-Palmolive, which is a household name that many of us um, already know and probably use in our daily lives, all Colgate toothpaste at the minimum. Beyond their trusted consumer brands and their manufacturing operations, they set a benchmark in terms of efficiency, quality, and compliance. I mean, that's something I can vouch for, having witnessed that firsthand. So today, they'll share how moving from paper-based practices to a digital logging approach has tremendously helped them, not just capture, but more of manage the data more effectively in a fast-paced FMCG environment, and how they've gone creative around the core platform, as Saad was mentioning, building upon the level of information and intelligence, which really helps them improve and speed up decisioning at their level. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ahmed Ramani, the CIO and Director of IT and Digital Transformation from Colgate-Palmolive. Welcome, Ahmed, once again.
Thank you, Dil. Thank you for the introduction, and hello, everyone. And thank you,
Sorry,
everybody.
if I may just share
Yeah.
someone's observation. Oh, okay, now it is switched. It was Saad's screen being displayed, so now it's okay. Fine, please
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Adil. Thank you for the nice introduction, and thank you, everyone at Octopus and everyone who are part of this webinar today. Hello to everyone. Most of us and most of you already know that Colgate is one of the major household brands here in Pakistan, and behind our operations, our core mission is consistency, quality, and trust that we want to maintain for our customers, consumers across Pakistan. That's what we are. And behind that, then there are plants and manufacturing that run with our absolute precision every single day. So that we already have an established setup across Pakistan in different areas. The real problem that we were facing a year and a half back, and when that's where Octopus team came in with a digital log solution, that everything on our ships, we operate 24 by 7, 365 days a year, all our plants, and we have shift-wise reporting, shift-wise setups on different plants, different machines. Each machine has a separate log sheet that was we used to be maintained on a paper, and it was a big register log sheet that was being registered. So that's when we got in touch with the digital log team, and especially Adil helped us out a lot in this solutions provided to us. So there were thousands of pages that we were maintaining on a daily basis. Operations team, especially the operators who used to operate those machines and the plants, used to put it in by hand, all the checklist that they used to create on a shift by shift basis, and their supervisors used to approve it, sign it, and that paper used to go into a register and then to a vault that they used to stack up a lot of papers and files in there. It was slowed us down. We had a lot of blind spots in the middle, and then the decision making at the management level, at the plant level, was not at on a timely basis, as an FMCG organization needs to be on time. So as an IT perspective, it was a real tragedy for me that we had to was valuable operation data that we was dying at the moment, and it was being filled in the cabinet, and we want to get into operated. So the best thing was about it, the business was aligned with me. The factory management, they had given us complete support on this part, which was a good part. We cannot do anything, any implementation of IT related systems, unless the business is totally aligned, and of course my own IT team as well. So what we started was partnering with Octopus Digital Log completely changed how our teams work now. Instead of paper, our operators are using handheld devices, tablets, and even phones. They recently gave us a mobile app also, and to centralize, which is connected with the centralized cloud system of digital log. Automated validations are there. If an operator makes a mistake, the validation is there to jump in and tell him that you're putting in a wrong entry or there is a mistake, so that it doesn't goes to the next level of approvals, and that's part of it. Then there are real-time alerts when the shift got over, when the log sheet was created, and it makes a stronger sense of accountability on the floor itself. Then we eliminated double data entry, like there used to be double entries. Once it used to be on paper, then they used to move on to a Google Sheet platform, and then Google Sheet platform used to be printed and adjusted, and reporting used to be done through emails. That got eliminated. Double data entry is no longer there, and that actually we had calculated. Our plant team calculated on it, and they were making around 30 man hours were being saved every department when we started on this. So the immediate impact was that it means the practice greater accuracy that we got, better workflows, faster decisions, and of course improved compliance with the audit teams, as well as for sustainability is concerned. So most importantly, what happened was our people, the team at the plant, the business teams, they changed. They got empowered. That's what I really liked, because we have a plant over there in Kotri near Hyderabad. It's a small town, but definitely a lot of team members are involved over there. It's a huge plant. The setup is there. They got empowered and they took the ownership of it. I had 2 leads, 3 leads from different plant levels from the business teams who were actually maintaining and ensuring that this system goes live immediately, of course, along with my IT team. But once the business team owner takes ownership, then it gets much better, of course. So instead of wasting time on repetitive manual entries, they were more focused on solving problems and improving the outcomes of the reports. Of course, now we have a 1.5 year data. We have different plants available now on the digital log, and we are continuously migrating the users from the digital log to the digital log system right now. The system is more accessible. The database already has a lot of scenarios available to us, which we didn't used to have previously. And of course, for the future, what we are doing is we are building a data lake based on this data. There's a lot. We have ERP data, then we have this data, then it's going to get linked into this. And what we eventually want to do is predictive analytics through that. And it's great to know just from Mr. Tanveer that the AI tool is being provided to us in the near future also, which will help us in predictive analysis on our digital log data. So actually, once at a manufacturing level, if somebody says the pump broke down, let's fix it immediately. That's an issue that we used to have. Now we can move to the predictive. Oh, the data is showing within 48 hours, we might need to have a planned maintenance immediately. There is an issue with the pump. That's what we are looking into it now. Of course, the bigger picture, we are moving towards scalability. We're moving into more and more plants. We are expanding onto our different locations and manufacturing facilities. And one thing for sure, my plant team shared the data with me that 3 million sheets per year we have eliminated per year. That's actually 1.5 years of data that we have maintained, which makes about 40 trees that we have avoided, and it's part of the CP sustainability also, the global tools also that we have to foresee. But that's definitely a major achievement that we have done over the year. Of course, the environment wins of saving paper are incredible, but the data wins are more transformational. So definitely we're looking into it, and we are here to help to ensure that we have more and more tools available within the digital log in the near future as well. And we do our expansions with the help of Octopus team.
Absolutely fantastic, Ahmed. Thank you so much for such valuable insights. I mean, your journey has been amazing, and so glad to be accompanying you all across since the time of its inception. I mean, where, as Saad was mentioning, considering it to be a very simplistic digital transformation being a very big, broad, fancy term. I mean, and starting off with simply logging data digitally seemed to be something not very highly valuable, but now driving down the line after completing a 1.5 years of collecting very valuable data, which is so convenient to explore, so convenient to consume, utilize, and derive issues. I mean, I think that's the beauty of what truly a digitally transformed organization reflects as. So I'm thankful very much for you to share your views. Anything, Tanveer, you would like to add on top, please?
Ahmed, thank you very much. It was very insightful, and I'm very delighted to know that you're making use of it and creating value for your company with this tool. And our business is to create value for our customers, and that's how we survive. I mean, as long as we are aligning your value creation, we are happy. It's not just giving you a tool and say bye bye. We're continuously evolving, and I must confess and admit that a lot of our roadmap items are based on our customer inputs. When you use it in real time, we get new insights. We make them as part of our development, part of our roadmap journey. So a lot of enhancement that are coming. We also do a competitive analysis globally. So not only how the users are using it, how the world is using. So you've got the best of the best of its class product, which is comparable to anything that you can get from anywhere in the world. So we want to be up a notch, because I have seen, and as far as we've studied, no one has a generative AI piece available on digital this product. So we have it. So we have upped the ante for others to look up our product and improve. So as the competition is there, it helps the companies to actually further improve. And we will not be stopping here. We'll be bringing in a lot of new stuff to help you further to develop a good user experience, and that's our goal. So thank you very much for your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanveer, for topping it up. So I think now we will start off with, well, there's a lot of activity going on in the webinar chat window, which is visible to me on my right, and very, very interesting questions coming in. But I'll start off with, I was trying to sort a few while you were, sharing your views to me. And I think that's a very pertinent and a very basic level, but a very important question, which is about, I think it's Sarfaraz perhaps asking that how can a company start digitizing operator rounds in a phased way? Okay, interesting. So digitizing operator rounds in a phased way. Saad, you might want to give your views on how you guys really started off, and then scaled up, So your views on this would be very valuable, I believe, for the audience.
So thank you, Adil, and thank you, Sarfaraz, for the question. It's a very important one, and I think it's important to understand first, what are the constraints. If, let's say, almost always constraints are financial in nature, right? It's not easy, especially when you embark on something which is revolutionary in many organizations still. So my advice always is to go for areas where you don't need the intrinsically safe tablets. You could have your typical tablet, and in our industry it's difficult, but I'm very certain in non-petrochemical industry it would be it's cost effective as well. So that's going to be that would be my first step, number one. For example, for our facility back in the day, we wanted to start with a chloralkali because it's a non-petrochemical area, but then we were bound by the fact that there's hydrogen in there, so we could not overcome that challenge. But I think many of you would be able to, number one. And number two, again, almost always start in areas where you feel the pain is being felt the most. I mean, I would have loved to share a demo over here how we were clearly able to overcome a problem based on the solution that we have, the monitoring, the dashboards. So जहाँ पे आपको लगता है the problem is, the pain is really being felt, and you're not able to really get your hands around operator information, and it's really needed. Start with those areas, and then gradually build on those, because success breeds success, right? So once you've proven concept in areas which are less taxing from a risk perspective and also from financial perspective, get those out of the way, build confidence, and then move forward. That would be my take on this.
Fantastic. I think very rightly said. I'd quickly jump on Tanvi. You want to add something to it, please?
I think Saad has very nicely explained how you can begin. Start small, pick up the area which is feasible for you and has less risk, and then you establish the success, have a quick win, and then you can roll it to others, because then it is an easy sell to the management, and they will be willing to kind of invest. Unless it is proven, you can't just do it, to the entire plant without having a test case first. So we would recommend that you go small, create a quick win, and then build a model, and then replicate that. And in this process, you would be able to you would have trained people to guide others in different departments how to take this initiative and roll it across the organization or enterprise. Yeah.
Absolutely, TK. That's a very, very, very valid point. And additionally, thinking about how Colgate really evolved over time in their adoption journey, I think one of the most important pivotal, element that I would give to Ahmed Rahmani, being the, chief of the IT, there was a very important decision that they took, that they had a single operational owner for the implementation of the digital log on their plant rollout, which was really essential and critical, because that particular owner was influential, had the grip on the plant priorities, and was able to really map the implementation and the adoption of the digital log, right in line, so that very early and very soon the users, the management, the enterprise, at the enterprise level, the benefits and started appearing at a very early stage, and the excitement really kicked in. Ahmed, if you would add to this, and that's how then you were able to scale up very smoothly and in a very, very quick fashion, right? So yeah.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Adil. So that was part of our strategy, that when we started rotating the idea about this digital log within our factory, it was great that the manufacturing director assigned me a resource who was ready to go ahead and for the implementation, and he was looking after one plant at that time and the maintenance of that plant. He said, Ahmed, let's go ahead and start in my plant, within my plant itself, because we have multiple setups within our whole manufacturing facility, and you can call it multiple factories within one single entity. So he took the ownership of it. Salman, who was part of the team, who took the initiative about it, and once he was collaborating with us as well as the Octopus team, and during start, you definitely face teething issues, train the team, train the operators on a shift-wise basis, and then verifying those reports, verifying those systems, and then on a daily basis, updating us, updating his management, because definitely the factory's management definitely trusts more their users, more their plant team who are taking the ownership of it, along with of course, the IT team also is part of it. But definitely once the plant owner itself is taking the ownership of it, and then he scaled around along with his team to the rest of the plants. So still there are some team members who are part of the daily operations also, but they also take the initiative and give us the proper updates, what's happening on each and every plant on a monthly basis, weekly basis. And when they are facing issues, we get involved with them. We talk to the business users over there at different plants. And that's where, if the business is taking ownership and taking the plant, and of course they got the benefits out of it as well. And as far as we are concerned, you might have heard that SCCP has given some guidelines that there should be sustainability targets for all the organizations across Pakistan. That's a major target for everyone that has to follow in the future also. So the good part, we had taken that initiative a year and a half back. So that is evolving now, and we have very nice results to show those to everyone overall. And when we publish our sustainability, those results are gonna come up over there, and it's gonna be great to know for everybody else also.
And I think, Ahmed, one of the most beneficial part that we saw while we were, sort of building up and accelerating the implementation on your plant was that, the element of fragmented data, where you did not have that unified data platform for a high level, evaluation or a root cause analysis. I think that's where, when it started happening, it was really something that became very, very valuable. And another thing we try to avoid, for yourself, for Colgate especially, I can say, is that we did avoid on purpose some parallel initiatives. So the initiatives were launched in a very phased manner, so that the adoption could be very smooth, celebrated, as well as connected at a certain level at the end of it. So I think a great effort from your team. Why I'm expanding on this particular question a little bit, because there are several other questions in the chat window, as I can see, are very much associated to how to make this rollout a successful rollout, because there is a question in mind that a lot of digital transformation initiatives usually do not scale up. They rather die out after pilot implementations. So all the more importance of the value or the outcome of the digital transformation initiative, but it is highly critical that it is planned to in a very thoughtful manner, in a very connected manner, where people are at the helm of the initiative, and they feel that their ownership is right there with them, and they're able to capitalize on the value that is generated, and everybody celebrates that.
So that's the only way you can get successful.
Absolutely. I mean, to your particular point, there was a throughput improvement, right? You had efficiency improvements, as you would tell me, to Saad's point, Saad, where there were a lot of expensive devices that were required to be added on the plant. By simply manually logging the data digitally, Ahmed and his team, including Salman and everyone, they were able to develop digital reports that were auto-generated at a frequency at a certain point in time once the data logging had been completed. So a lot of myths were resolved, which is where a lot of investment was kind of taken out from the calculations. And by adopting discipline in logging data in a timely and an accurate manner, which is where the workflow would help them ensure the accuracy of the data and the reliability of the data. I mean, the level of reporting and dashboarding that Colgate has been able to, as well as EPCL has been able to achieve, perhaps is conceived to be something really fancy from the implementation or the solution designing point of view. So merely digitally logging data, but in a planned, in a professional way, using a platform like Digital Log really helps achieve a lot of benefits. Sarfaraz, to your question particularly, because Sarfaraz has been keen to ask for how the benefits can be achieved practically, rather than we were telling a lot about benefits, but how they're practically achieved. So this is how the two gentlemen out here can vouch for how the benefits were actually achieved from once being conceived.
Yeah.
Okay, so
just to add here, Adil,
yes,
for any digital initiative or intervention, it is very important that it's not about the technology itself, it's not about the tool itself. It is a transformation of a culture within the organization, which means
absolutely.
that decisions are based on data, not on my experience or my judgment and so on. And it has to be consistent, and belief structure has to be built. And a lot of effort within the organization has to be undertaken to bring the people on board. And they should see it as something of use to them, not being imposed on them. Only then adoption happens. Otherwise, they brand it as, oh, we have to do it. and because it was somebody else's initiative and we're not part of it, we don't own it, and it's not part of our workflow.
Absolutely.
The day people, you can't isolate people from the initiative, so the people part becomes extremely important.
Absolutely.
And when more and more people are onboarded on this, the people who are not adopting it are the ones who left out, and they either have to catch up or exit. Trust me. So people part becomes very important, and they should feel that it belongs something that is helping them, not being thrust upon them as must-do thing. I'm not underestimating the executive sponsorship in these initiatives.
Right.
The accountability and the regular cadence of how the digital journey is going is also very important, because then you keep it alive. It should not be seen as a tool, but it should be a journey. And then there is no end to a journey, because it's a journey towards excellence, and there is no upper limit to achieving excellence, right? So that's what we face a lot of challenge in the adoption sometimes in different organizations, and I'm speaking from my experience, that the cross-functional teams are usually not aligned. Sometimes it's an IT initiative and the OT are not onboarded fully, or the OT initiative in the IT is not there. It does not happen when IT OT converges. And that's where the organizational maturity in taking the initiative matters a lot. And we stress a lot that it's not just one leg of the transformation, the two legs are equally important, and cross-functional teams have to be built to take this initiative forward. And then this mushrooms within the organization when this culture is built with that.
Absolutely, TK. Thank you so much for your insights, and more of about, I think, the importance of scaling up, the importance of piloting and scaling up is something which is of true essence while starting off on a digital journey. The value has to be at the core of it. Okay, TK, very interesting question again here. It's more of related to the functionality of the digital log as an application. Oh, so is digital log usable in remote or low connectivity environments? We've been talking about the environments quite a bit and the sensitivity of the environment. Saad, if you would throw some thoughts on this one. Low connectivity environments. So you have had this challenge on your plant, as I understand, and there has been a solution to that as well, which digital log inherently brings to you. So some of your thoughts from your side, please.
Adil, thank you for the question. And again, it brought a smile to my face because someone in the group also spoke about how do we convince our IT team from OT security perspective that these things are beneficial. And I think it's a concern we had as well because when you operate a facility, you don't want frequencies to be interfering with each other. So we do not permit use of Wi-Fi in operating areas. And the solution that we have at hand now is that you could also use Wi-Fi. That's one option. But the other solution that we've been offered is that the information in the absence of a network in the area, the information that's recorded, it's stored on the device, and as soon as one gets connection to your Wi-Fi, once you're back in the CCR or you're in the non-operating areas, then that information is automatically uploaded on the cloud, on the platform, right? So it's entirely up to individuals where you would want to have a solution which gives you the flexibility of immediate uploading, or B, if let's say network in the area is not advisable, then an offline solution like the one Engro Polymer has sort of opted for really comes handy.
Absolutely, thank you, Saad. And more importantly, this allows a lot of liberty. This allows a lot of freedom for users and one less excuse, as I call it, for adoption by a lot of plant operation teams. So so digital log has a very robust offline a feature we call it, which really makes that web-based platform, which is a cloud-based platform, pretty much land on your tablet or your device that you're operating it on, and eventually you have all the more freedom to log the data at your pace and scale. But at the same time, the loss of connectivity does not compromise certain loss of a potential loss of parameters that the digital log helps you record, such as the location where the data was logged, such as the time when the data was actually punched in, the user information in terms of who the user logged in was, and for the time duration that when that checklist was accessed and by the time the checklist was closed. So very important key elements associated with traceability and driving discipline in terms of digital logging all come along. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And Emmet, you earlier on, sort of pointed out on reaping the benefits of the mobile app that we have as well. So a mobile app is also available in the offline, as an offline feature as well. So how your teams have been able to leverage some benefit on having a simple mobile app on Android, particularly that we have, and use it on the go without having the access to the internet usually is a challenge.
Definitely, sometimes the internet does cause problems in plant areas and remote areas. But the good part was, I think at the start, this offline mode was not available, and later on, you brought in this feature in our system, and we have been utilizing it quite frequently because there are some issues throughout. Whenever there is an internet issue, we want the data to be punched in at the end of the shift, because the shift operator leaves at the end of his shift. And if the internet is not available for somehow, so the solution that we have within the digital log is that they can punch in an offline mode or through the mobile app available at the plant level. So definitely it counts, and it's the same thing like you said, that the entry of the time, the log, everything is available later on also, as soon as the internet becomes available.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Tanveer, to your point particularly, as you mentioned earlier on, this particular feature and functionality was also kind of conceived and built upon a user feedback and a user input. Our core belief of having customer centricity all along while we are developing our products and platforms. Your thoughts?
Yes. And I mean, you said we want to discipline people to log in and all that. We don't want to discipline people. We really want to enable people to and give them a good user experience of functionality of the situations that they come across, and how easily they can navigate those situations or mitigate the challenges that they have by enhancing the functionality of the system, and because that's a necessary step in the day-to-day operations and processes. So we want to help people, and this function helps people when the situation of internet or either it is not available or it is weak connection where uploading is difficult, so they can just collect the data and store it and upload as and when they come near the area where the internet is available. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thanks again, TK, for your perspective. Absolutely. Right. And one question that we've had from quite a few participants. Now, integrating the digital log data with SCADA, DCS, or other operational platforms. So yes, about TK, your thoughts on this? So forming the ecosystem, right? So this is more about our belief again. Yes.
Okay. Interesting question, I would say. Digital log provides a solution to a particular use case that you have to capture the operator rounds, and that's the prime objective in anything to do with that, to how to facilitate and create analytics on top of it, workflows and stuff like that. Now, what is the purpose of this connectivity? I mean, with the DCS. We created this product with a bigger ambition, and that was it was part of the industrial analytics. Okay, which means that you can bring in the data from your control systems and drop it here and do the analytics, self-service analytics on top of it. But later on, of course, we do not offer right now digital log to bring the data from the DCS into it and become a data platform. We created a new data platform natively on Azure called OmniConnect, right? And it does all the transformation of the data, harmonizing the data, contextualizing the data, enriching the data. And digital log is part of that OmniConnect ecosystem right? So you can drop that digital log data into the OmniConnect and then do all the analytics on top of it, right? So yes, there's a connectivity, but now it is part of the OmniConnect platform, which is a data layer for any digital transformation journey. And that's how we have addressed the issue, because OmniConnect is a bigger piece where not only the manual data through digital log comes in, the real-time data comes directly into the OmniConnect, and then you can connect the IT systems with the OmniConnect. So it's kind of a big data platform. We call it a data lake that we can create of multiple data sources.
Absolutely, TK. Thanks a lot for sharing some more insights on this. I have landed a very interesting question. So this is Mr. Muhammad Ali Said. I'd be really grateful if the participants can also mention the name of their organizations. It really helps relate a bit more. But the question is about the risk of having data on cloud, regarding data security in current war situations, and how can that be minimized? So that's a very interesting perspective and a thought that really does, strike in your head, that if your data is on the cloud and if there's a war happening, so how does that really help, or how does that really, is addressed as a problem as it is seen? But interestingly, just on the lighter note, the war is happening on the ground and not on the cloud. But again, TK,
no,
your perspective.
But I would say it is more safe on cloud than on-prem.
Yeah.
You see, because if one location is hit, there is a backup on some other location.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So you're more safe on the cloud than in war situations, because disaster recovery it becomes very important.
Absolutely. I'll just quote an example. TK recently. Yes, Saad.
Sorry, no. I was thinking maybe the question is about maybe the data falling in wrong hands and could then be used as a weapon of war. I took it that way.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting
as a weapon of war.
Okay.
So
honestly, I didn't have an answer to that. So maybe Ahmed Bhai would be best positioned to perhaps let us know, even if we are in a position where we could be compromised. I would love to hear about that.
That's a very good point. Ahmed Bhai, your thoughts on how the data can be prevented for landing into wrong hands, if I may call it?
As long as you have proper measures, SOC and data security in place, the compliance is there. Of course, I'm sure all the cloud providers go through some checks and balances as far as security is concerned, data security is concerned, and the authorizations level. Even in our digital log system, there are different authorization levels from entry level to all the way to approval levels, and then the reporting requirements. And the data is concerned, they are like, I believe you have it on Azure.
No, we have it on AWS. For digital log.
So AWS definitely, we all the time we hear news about different cloud platforms. There is no way, since all the organization representatives are sitting here in the webinar, all future softwares are going to be cloud based. whether
Absolutely.
it's an ERP system, whether there is any other software is going to be used as a service. We cannot have data centers based in our organizations and then just uh, trust on those data centers to be available for our users all the time. All the software updates are coming as software as a service, getting even the Microsoft level, SAP level, all these are. So as long as those data centers, as far as cloud is concerned, like Mr. Tanvi said, that there is always a backup of the cloud as well. There people are running, companies are running their whole ERP systems on these cloud systems. So we have to rely on it. Definitely the data security part, all these cloud providers have in place. There are some certifications that they need to go through in order to get that data over there. So definitely we have to trust the system. We cannot have those systems based in our local data center, because I have heard that in local data centers also there has been cybersecurity attacks where the
Yep.
data has been merged, and then the recovery part is the most difficult part,
Yes,
because
true.
you cannot recover from a hardware to a hardware in a span of time when you have all your operations dependent on those platforms. So
Hmm.
in a cloud environment, you shut one system down, you go uh, turn on the new system. It takes 5 to 10 minutes.
Right,
Absolutely.
That's it.
right, exactly.
That's the benefit of the cloud that you get.
Absolutely. The efficiency,
Absolutely,
benefit, and advantage.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And quoting a real life example for all of you. I mean, you must have recently heard about the attack on, well, the damage that happened in Abu Dhabi on the AWS data center. And having witnessed it firsthand, quite a few bank applications went
Oh,
down. And that could have been otherwise if a physical data center managed or maintained by a bank, right, within a certain vicinity would have caused a major
I,
catastrophic damage to the availability or recovery of the data.
I
But to
guess
my surprise, the retrieval was only a few hours. Yes, TK.
yes, yes. I believe it was
AWS.
AWS or SAP's data center
So it was the
on
unfortunately,
AWS.
yes, it was on the AWS.
SAP is on AWS.
Right, right.
Yeah,
But
we were
again,
sitting at
having
a customer place and they were
right,
using SAP. So uh, they mentioned
absolutely,
that one of the data center has been hit.
absolutely.
So,
Talking
but the
about,
recovery was quick because
yep,
the data was somewhere in the backup. So
absolutely, absolutely.
that
So
gives you a lot of redundancy. Yeah.
a lot of redundancy. And since this is a very interesting question asked, there's one more aspect to it. Again, in a disastrous situation like this, when you lose connectivity to the internet, so of course you're losing access to your data. But again, that's a very massive kind of I would say massive scale of interruption that has to happen in that particular case. So yes, there are positives to it and a few risks that are always there. There's nothing ideal in the world, but of course you choose what suits you best in terms of your adoption and your ability to comply with. And moving further, there is a very interesting question now coming from Mr. Razak Khan. Again, I do not have the reference of his organization, but he's more of now referring to how to make use of the data. So he wants to ask that how to measure output in terms of KPI, ROI, which is saving production cost, wastes, not just digital transformation, that is manual log to digital log. I would rather, I think, Ahmed Bhai, you have
E- e-
some very interesting reports and dashboards developed that are very much focused towards measuring, monitoring, analyzing parameters and KPIs that are associated to production costs, actual production throughput, which is wastages. So some insights from you will be very, very valuable.
Definitely, what happens is when we started the implementation of this digital log in our organization, one of the measures, the KPIs for the plant team was, as well as the manufacturing director, as well as from my side, that what exactly have been the results actually as far as cost savings are concerned, as far as the paper saving is concerned, and all those. So for all we had such big registers that we were used to maintain in our factory in different plant level, as far as even at machine level. So they calculated each and every logbook, how many papers that we make on a daily basis. And then they brought it down to the calculation of how many the paper consumption was there at any given time on a daily, weekly, monthly basis at each plant level. Then you come up with there is a special calculation for that. I'm sure you guys are aware of it. That comes out how many potential savings that we did as far as CO2 reduction is concerned, as far as the total number of papers that are required, that are consumed once a tree is cut. They even got that calculation done. So that is available, and this pretty much available on how to calculate it. That's actually once you can come up with what are the actual savings. There are some savings as far as cloud is concerned, the time and efficiency that is concerned, the system availability is concerned. But then there is another aspect also, which as far as the paper saving is concerned, like in one of our manufacturing directors has refused to sign paper approvals for the log sheets. That's where the initiative comes in. The business side takes the ownership of it. And once you take the ownership, then there's also the change. Then the plant teams also change based on those. That's how it comes up, the solution.
Perfect. Saad, I think you would want to share some of your, use cases or benefits that you've been able to develop.
Adil, Ahmed Bhai has already spoken about the hard savings, and let's be honest, that's what really appeals to senior management, and I don't think it's going to change anytime in the near future. But there's a slightly different perspective I would want to leave the audience with, and I was in my previous role, I was heading HR and at Engro
Right.
Fertilizer. And there used to be a question which was posed to me in almost every board meeting: how do you measure the ROI from learning interventions? And frankly, my perspective always is that it's the cultural change which is far more important, and it outweighs in the longer run. It outweighs all the hard savings. It's a fact, and I think a lot of credit for this goes to my predecessor, Mr. Mehmood Siddiqui. I think his intervention, his primary contribution was that when this entire conversation around embarking on this digital journey was coming up, there was a lot of talk about क्या gain hai, ROI क्या होगा, IRR क्या होगा, what's the payback, etc. And then Mahmood was very clear. He said, no savings. We will not focus on savings in year one. And I think the benefit that I have seen now is the mushrooming of ideas. A lot of ideas are coming up now, and from 6 ideas in 2024 to about 22 in 2025, and roughly 7 or 8 already in the first quarter. It's about embarking on that journey. It's about adopting that culture. So while hard savings are absolutely important, I think in the longer run, it's the cultural transformation that this entire endeavor would bring about, which is going to overshadow everything else. That's my perspective. Might be a very naive one, but a perspective nonetheless.
Very nicely put, Saad. I would say sometimes it's difficult to work out the hard, tangible benefits, but one benefit is always there. It brings efficiency in your operations. One way is to gather information, and then the other reason that you gather information is to retrieve it in time and quickly and use it to your advantage. How would you compare the past with your presence? Entirely different approach altogether, right? And if you are gathering information and not being able to smartly, instantly be able to use it, what's the use of gathering the information in the first place, right? So, and then as you said, the new ideas crop up when you collect the data, and you have new brainwaves that, oh, we can do this with that. Improvement comes through that. You're creating a historical database where you can instantly retrieve and do analytics on top of it. Otherwise, the data is sitting in silos in logbooks, and retrieval is a nightmare. So this is an instant efficiency itself for humans to put in many hours to extract information, make sense out of it, vis-a-vis if you can do it instantly and let the system do the job for you, and you focus on creative, innovative things.
Absolutely, TK. Thanks so much. I have a question coming from Zain Alamgir, who's from Engro Fertilizers, Saad, your fellow colleague, perhaps. He mentions that he love to hear the insights from the users. I want to know what to do if we face challenges from our IT teams, as they have concerns of OT cybersecurity issues related to this digital transformation. And an extended comment to that is, well, I think this question, Saad, perhaps you'd be the best person to throw some light, and from the IT, maybe we can have an input from Ahmed Bhai following up as well. So, Saad, I think you seem to have overcome the issue in Engro Polymers.
Absolutely, that would be my response. And
Yes.
I think, like you mentioned earlier, Adil, you rightly pointed out that I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but I think people are very circumspect initially, and
Right.
everyone has the right to be very cautious, especially when you are
Yeah.
running a facility like Engro Fertilizers. But it's very
Absolutely.
important to share success stories. And
Yeah.
even when I was at Engro Fertilizer back in the day, I remember very clearly these successes at Engro Polymer used to be spoken about a lot, because it's the first mover advantage. Engro Polymer did embark on this journey before other Engro affiliates. So I think one way is, it's not just, I mean, obviously Ahmed Bhai will speak about the technical solution to this. You can always inform your IT team to get in touch with the teams at Engro Polymer, and everything on this planet has a solution, as long as the will is there.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Saad. Thank you so much for this perspective. And I think I'll quickly come to this one important question. TK, perhaps this one you'll be able to share your thoughts in a more appropriate. Can your platform be connected to existing SAP data so that we can analyze all data from the support chat GPT like LLMs? TK, your favorite topic. Chat GPT like LLMs is already a routine in your provided solutions, I guess. So I think he has an idea. This is Faisal Mustafa from Dalda. And I think he's kind of attracted and intrigued toward learning how the LLM models can be leveraged to benefit from a lot of raw data, perhaps available in our data lake.
Okay. So this is in the context of digital log, right?
Correct. Digital log.
Okay.
Connecting digital log, manually log data with the SAP data. So bringing it together.
Okay.
So
Okay.
bit of a
right.
omni-connect.
Right now, you want to run a LLM models on top of the data, both the data sources, or what is the
so there are two questions, two parts to the questions.
We can share the data with, we can share the digital log data with SAP. Okay, through our APIs, right? And we can deploy a LLM model, our OmniChat, on SAP data or digital log data, and give you the on-the-fly analytics on top of it. You can build dashboards and stuff like that. But as far as connectivity with SAP of digital log, we can share one-way data with SAP. We don't need data from SAP as far as the application. Our OmniConnect, which is a bigger platform, can directly connect with SAP through Azure connectors, which are established connectors, and we can bidirectionally share the data with SAP and all that. And if you drop digital log data within the OmniConnect, then this connection is again established, and you can have access to all of that. So our data platform is OmniConnect. As a standalone, digital log can share the data, but one way, we can send the data to SAP. But as far as the LLM models are concerned, if you want some information from SAP, or if you want some information from any other data source, even the digital log, then OmniChat is another product which you can use to extract information by writing prompts and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm able to answer that question
I think
completely.
you put it absolutely right in the direction, Tiki. That was exactly what was being asked, as I understand as well. So connectivity with SAP, the data exchange between the
Yes,
digital
there
log
is.
towards the SAP, and then adding on the ability to ask ad hoc queries by leveraging the LLM models, very much an inherent feature of OmniChat, as you explained,
But
which we are also.
if it is only a data within digital log, then you have a log chat.
Then you have a log
So
chat,
it's
right?
a self-contained log chat, which is an LLM-based model within digital log
Digital log.
itself.
Absolutely.
We have
So
other
we've
products
got,
also, GenAI products also, which can sit on any other data sources, and you can ask any question on the fly.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So somebody was commenting about single sign-on. So I believe this is more of about a feature set related question for digital log. So this is Vasama from Engro Polymers, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, Vasama is posting in the chat window. Vasama, you're the expert on the platform, buddy. So you can probably guide the best around us, being such an extensive user. So, but thanks for pitching in. So yes, TK.
So
Any
what was the
comments?
question?
So
It
I
is a
think
single sign-on?
I think he's trying to share with the audience that the digital log also offers single sign-on feature. So anyone
Okay,
with
that's
company
good.
ID credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
I think he's adding his side of the that's a very
Osama is a
important
very avid
aspect.
user, by the way. Very avid
Oh,
user of the log.
Yes.
Just for the interest of audience, so Vasama is the administrator for the digital log at the Engro Polymers. So he's one of those core resources. He was a part of the the implementation and expansion journey as well. Okay, so quite a few things about the data on cloud. We've already talked about how data on cloud brings its own inherent value, benefits, the ability to really leverage the tools available on cloud. I mean, imagine if we were to buy software licenses for every single add-on capability while developing a platform. It would be it would be actually a very limiting factor. But the cloud as a platform really enables and takes away that limitation from our side as a developer, from the improvement perspective, and from the user's perspective. They keep on getting improvements, add-on features, advantages, all at almost zero cost of ownership or investment per se. So again, the benefits of SaaS as a platform. So there is a perspective about MES. Okay, so how different is it from MES? This is Sir Faraz again. I don't have the reference to the organization that he comes from. Yeah, so MES is absolutely a different ball game. I think he must be from FMCG. MES is more of a manufacturing execution system, a very specific system that helps manufacturing and production facilities integrate the top to bottom operational intelligence and smartness that comes in. I think that's more of not related to the topic of this particular session. Okay, so there is an interesting one. It says, what kind of reporting and alerts are available in real time? I think this is pertaining to digital log as a platform. Ahmed, I would rather request you to share a bit of an insight on your experience about how the alerts and the real-time alerts are beneficial for you and your teams while they use the platform, the digital log.
Definitely, there are a lot more features available. As far as the best thing I like about it is the workflow of solutions that come in. When the flow of the data that starts from the operator all the way to the plant manager level, and the different authorizations they have. So one operator is working on one particular machine, and let's say there are 50 different machines operating within the plant. So at the end of the shift at 8 hours, the plant manager has a clear understanding of what actually happened in those last 8 to 10 hours in his plant. As far as KPIs are concerned, what were the logs, what happened if there were any issues within the machine itself, or there was efficiency, because they have to have a particular KPI of producing so many different SKUs in a particular amount of time. That's their target that they have. So all the way to the manufacturing director level, they have certain KPIs they have to meet. So our business teams already are managing those kind of data and ensuring that it's available all to the plant manager level also. So different KPIs, production KPIs, downtime KPIs, what actually happened in a particular shift. If there was any plans for planned maintenance within the plant itself, that is also incorporated within the digital log sheet, so that they know what kind of efficiency they got from a particular shift. So, and then all the way to the monthly report, the manufacturing director sitting at the plant looks at those reports and makes those decisions and make their life much more easier. In the dashboards that we have around 400 plus log sheets in the system already running. And then there are different reportings that we have done, and we all the time we bug you guys for the new
Yeah.
reports and the dashboards that we need to get. And definitely I have a continuous requirement. And then the good thing about it is that you have a quarterly update on the system, and you guys let us know beforehand, like in the upcoming release, what kind of new features are coming up. So that's why
Absolutely.
when the plant team is following up with us, we tell them, okay, you're gonna get this in the April release, you're gonna get this in the June release. So they are also accustomed to those kind of things, that a cloud-based system, when it's being used for different manufacturing facilities, definitely there should be some kind of control in place, that whatever the learnings are coming up from the market, and they are incorporated for different plants. So
Absolutely, Ahmed.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
And very importantly, to add here, I think a lot of operational teams on your plant floor side, these supervisors leverage the continuous alert features, which they can configure, set on a certain specific checklist, a report, which is calculated after a certain time frame based on several checklists collected data. I think the alerts that you receive in the form of emails, the alerts that you receive in the form of WhatsApp messages, which is integratable as well as an option. When your own login, you can actually go to the alerts section and watch out on what particular alerts are you would like to actually review before you start your regular activities. So yeah, alerts has been an inherent component of our platform. And I think it's very well received and utilized by the plant floor resources, especially the supervisor level resources. Okay. Just to add on, by the way, we've got alerts that are associated to different user personas. So an alert can be associated to a certain process value. An alert can be associated to a delayed in start of claiming a checklist. An alert could be associated to delayed submission of a checklist, right? So alerts, not just based on parameters or KPI values, but also on the workflow that you set up within your organization, right? So I think that's something that becomes very useful while you are operating the platform. Very interesting question I'd like to come to. This is Ashir from Colgate-Palmolive. Okay. Is there a way in ODL we can segregate the data between the plants within the same organization? And as an end user, we face this as an issue. Confidentiality of a data on plant one is visible to another plant user. So is there a way we can separate? So that's a very good point actually raised. There are options to set up hierarchies, the user configuration module that we have. So different users, you can develop your own hierarchies, and then the data associated to the individual hierarchy is again sort of secured and segregated in terms of visibility, access, or analysis from another hierarchy that you can create within the platform. So the platform has a very flexible user management segment. If you're interested about knowing more on this, we've got the product specialists, we've got our customer success teams who are very, very influential and helpful when it comes to, exploring more features and exploring more options that are available and widely used by a lot of users within the digital log platform. So I believe that helps you, that helps answer the question in this particular fashion. So keeping a watch on the time, TK, I would like you to share your thoughts, some remarks on some leaving remarks, I would say, concluding remarks on the session. Anything that you would like to leave for the audience who are still considering and thinking about digital transformation journey?
Well, I would thank you, all the participants, our audience, for being so interactive. I must say that they've asked some beautiful questions.
Yeah.
And our customers, our guests, they've been very insightful, and I'm happy to know that how they have assimilated this tool into their workflows and the daily routine. It's fantastic to know, and we will continue to improve the product. We'll continue to enhance the user experience. We really want to create value for them and for prospective customers to really benefit from the insightful discussion that we've had. And yes, it's a good experience connecting with the broader audience through these webinars, and we will continue to do that in future as well. We'll bring in new ideas and we'll unfold our digital transformation portfolios and how we are helping organizations to transform their businesses and their journey while we are launching through these webinars, creating greater awareness for the industrial customers. Our focus is, of course, industry, and we have a host of products. But last time we had a different product. This time we bring in a digital log, and this is kind of a user experience webinar.
Yeah.
It's not us telling what we're doing; it's the user telling how they're using it, and that's more powerful messaging than us telling you what this product does. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Thank you very much, Saad, and the audience for your patient hearing and time.
Gentlemen, there are a few questions that are just popping up, but I think they're very pertinent. And Faisal Mustafa is one of the participant who really seems to be very keen. But I think I wouldn't let Saad go before answering this question. So Saad, for you, this one particularly. So this is about asking that, can we compare our plant data with benchmark of other industries producing the same category product, from that particular perspective? And TK, to you as well, part of this question is that is this service provided by your company? Any audit service against log data and how to improve are in your scope? Okay, that's a bit more on the product, feature side. But Saad, do you get to leverage the information layer that you're able to retrieve out of the digital log as a platform to sort of benchmark your certain operational parameters, KPIs, results with across the industry, where you're connected at a certain platform? So do you tend to capitalize this information at that level?
So Adil, again, a great question, and it's an eye-opener, frankly. And my response to this would be, it's what digital log does is it allows you that information which is remote information which is not coming to any of the platforms like DCS, etc. So that information is was not available to us earlier, and was not accounted for consequently in our reliability or efficiency programs and calculations, right? So the way I look at this is now this information is becoming part of our models which are used to enhance efficiency and reliability. And it's the efficiency and reliability, those are the parameters which get benchmarked with the competitors. So
Right.
it's not the actual information coming from the logbook, but
Mm-hmm.
it's that information going into models, which are
Mm-hmm.
consequently the results from those models being benchmarked with the performance of the competitors. So,
Mm-hmm.
short answer, it does help improve your efficiency and allows you to then compare your numbers with your competitors.
Right, absolutely. And some information that what they want to know, how do you configure HSE or industry specific checklists? I think that's a pretty general questions. So, Saad, any experience about implementing the HSE associated checklist on digital log? I think that's pretty much doable as well, and that's a brilliant idea actually.
Very, very much so. So
Yep.
I think this is something which is currently being explored at Engro Polymer, and
Okay.
Engro Fertilizer already
Hmm.
they've automated their for example, their fire extinguisher checklist. So what
Right.
happens is when I went to audit the area, I was able to get all that information on just one tablet. It was phenomenal. I mean, I didn't have to go
Hmm.
through registers and logbooks. Everything was right in front of me. So it really helps as an auditor too, and obviously it does improve your HSE performance as well. So I'm very
Absolutely.
certain this option would be there.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you so much, Saad. And before I move to Bhai, any concluding remarks from your side? Any message that you want to leave to the audience about
Again,
this entire engagement? Yeah.
thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And again, I see this as a journey. This is a journey, and it's too early, it's too premature to speak about hard gains. The gains will surely come our way. It's very important to embark on this journey, because I still feel that we are not there, and it's imperative upon us to convince our senior management about the benefits which will eventually come down the line. Again focus on cultural change, and once that change is there, because we've seen in many areas, once the cultural change is there, then the numerical gain just becomes an eventuality, right? It's a fact which just emerges sooner than later. So focus very much on bringing about the cultural change and embark
Absolutely.
on this journey. Thank you.
So important, so pivotal. Bhai, some closing remarks from your side, please.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you, Tanveer Saab, and thank you, Saad, for being part of the panel along with me. It has been a great privilege and an honor to attend this webinar. And I tried to share as much as my experience is concerned. But definitely, it's a team effort that has happened at Colgate, and we call it a success. But it's definitely also a continuous improvement that we want to focus. Definitely, there are a lot of change management that needs to be done, a lot of user experience. Then there's definitely, when you're deploying such a kind of from paper to an automated system, it takes time, it takes patience also. So start small and expand. That's the methodology that we did, and I believe that's the
Absolutely.
right way to approach in for everyone who wants to embark on this journey in the future as well. And
Absolutely, Bhai.
thank you, Adil, for
My pleasure.
definitely being a part of the panel, and thank you, everyone.
No, thank you so much, Bhai. It was such a pleasure to have you and everyone, especially TK, yourself, and Saad on the panel today. It was a fantastic discussion. Just a note for the audience, we will be sharing this podcast on different platforms such as the YouTube. Do watch out on our LinkedIn page. We'll be issuing out the instruction set how to access this webinar later. You can further share on with your colleagues, friends, and we really encourage you to get in touch with us if you wish to discuss the applicability of the digital log in your organizations. I understand that while you listen to such kind of discussions and comments and feedbacks, the first question does pop in that how this can be tailored, adopted on how we spend a day on our factory, on our production, on our operations. So yes, the great news is that we've got a brilliant team out there that can really assist you, help you understand, conceive, design a digital roadmap for you. And we've been doing that for a lot of customers and clients, very valuable customers. within the country and outside of the Pakistan, in the Middle East especially. We continue to work with very, very interesting use cases with a lot of manufacturing customers. And in fact, outside of the manufacturing, we've got our clients that are certainly from CPG industry and retail as well. So you will find this interesting. So again, it's about creativity. Thank you once again. As we wrap up the episode today, this was the second webinar of the series that we started earlier in 2025. I just want to extend a big thank you again to everyone who joined us today, and especially to our speakers again for the valuable insights. We hope that today's session inspires you to take the next step in digitizing your workflows. We invite you to visit our website again, explore the resources. You feel free to request for a free demo, connect with us directly. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing details of the episode 3 of the webinar soon, and where we'll explore some more interesting aspects of digital transformation in the modern manufacturing. So once again, thank you very much again to the audience and to all that joined us on the LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you once again. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.